Have you ever questioned everything you ever learned until now? You are not alone. Welcome to Mystical Mavericks, a tribe that embraces your uniqueness and superpower. Discover how you can access your innate gifts and create a reality of fulfillment, purpose, and passion. Are you ready to go within to win? Discover the keys to success on The Mystical Mavericks Show.
Bonjour, Mystical Mavericks. We have a rock star with us today. Kevin Harrington is an original shark from hit TV show Shark Tank and a successful entrepreneur for more than 40 years. He is the co-founder board member of the Entrepreneurial Organization and co-founder of the Electronic Retailing Association. He also invented the infomercial. He helped make, but wait, there's more, part of our cultural history. He's one of the pioneers behind the As Seen on TV brand, has heard more than 50,000 pitches. Wow. And launched more than 500 products, regenerating more than 5 billion in global sales. 20 of his companies have generated more than 100 million in revenue each. He's also the founder of the Secrets of Closing the Sale Masterclass, inspired by the master of sales, Zig Ziglar. He's the author of several best-selling books, including Act Now, How I Turn Ideas into Millions Dollars Products, Key Person of Influence, and Put a Shark in Your Tank. Wow. Woo. Very, very blessed to have Kevin Harrington himself on the Mystical Mavericks show. Welcome, Kevin. Thank you so much for your precious time. Kevin Harrington, the iconic Mystical Maverick with us. Wow. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, I've seen you in the elevator. I've seen you on stage. I've seen you on conference. I've seen you everywhere. There's something about you, and I always was curious about it. You have what I call an orgasmic energy or something, je ne sais quoi. And seriously,
Thank you. Wow.
You're like the James Bond of business, like you show up and the whole room just light up. And I just wanted to find out from you in person, is this something you're born with, this thing, this charisma, this je ne sais quoi, or is this something that maybe perhaps you were taught or a skill that you developed along the way? What is this about you? You always have this energy. I've never seen you have a bad day.
Hey, first of all, I appreciate everything you just said. And I've done thousands of podcasts. So, I did over almost 200 for just one book. Okay.
Wow.
But I have not heard some of the things you've just said. So when you talk about orgasmic energy, that's pretty powerful. I love it.
But you are powerful. Each time I
Thank you.
see you, you do something to me and to others, to millions. In fact, you empower, you inspired. And I was wondering if there's something that you were always like this as a child, or something you pick up along the way because of a mentor. What is this about you?
I'm going to say this. I do believe that I came from very good genes. My father lived till he was 93. He was an entrepreneur, and I learned a lot. He was my first mentor. My mother was a saint, an angel, and went to church 6 days a week, and just raised 6 kids, a Catholic family, and I believe I was raised properly and to respect people, and also to know that my father didn't give me anything. He was in the restaurant business. In fact, he told me when I was going to college, the year in high school, he said, by the way, I'm not paying for your college because you have to pay for it. And so, I learned that a year ahead of time, and I prepared and started a business to earn that money. But I think the bottom line is that this energy that you talk about, I didn't always start like that, but I will say this: when you are in a business like I was, infomercials as seen on TV, and we would put a product on television and it would hit the Tony Little ab isolator. It would run thousands of times a week, generate millions of dollars a week, over time, hundreds of millions of dollars. That gives you confidence, okay? I mean, selling hundreds of millions of dollars of not just one, but two, then 10, then 20, that, you know what I'm saying? And a couple of them go to $1 billion. So I do believe, if you look at Mark Cuban, he has some confidence, okay? 25 years ago when he started, however he started broadcast.com, he was a hustler back then. He was driving in neighborhoods, listening to Zig Ziglar, thinking, I want to live in that house someday. And that was Mark Cuban, but I was the same way. It wasn't given to me. I had to make it. And if I wanted to live in that house, I was going to have to be successful. And I was going to have that confidence you saw in me, because you to get the right people that you want to surround yourself with. I call it building a dream team. You know what they like? They like the leader that is confident and powerful and exudes that kind of energy. So, nowadays it's the way to go. Now I have my kids in the business. I've got a 35-year-old son and a 25-year-old son and my wife's uncle, and so
Powerful.
there's always room to bring, and I will tell you, my 35-year-old son, he's been with me in business for 14 years. When he first started, he was very timid and afraid to test and to spend money and to do things. But once he's learned the formulas, and we have a formula. We say we'd like to be successful in our business at least 1 out of 3 times when we're launching a new product. Okay? Now you might think, but you're saying you're happy to fail 2 out of 3 times? And if I'm doing dozens and dozens of projects and I can hit a batting average of 1 out of 3 successes, that's going to be very successful financially for me. Because if you keep your costs low on the ones that don't work, and I say test before you invest, right? Don't go spend the big budget on a launch. And this is one of the mistakes I've seen people make. They want to complete 100% of the project, all the way down to every single, and it takes longer and it's way more expensive. I want to take it to a 90% factor, then test it, and then I'm going to get some results. And by the way, if it takes off, now we're going to finish it real quick, but maybe even better than we would have done it if we were just doing it from the beginning. So test before you invest, and then understand you're gonna fail a few times out of 3 at least, and maybe some people maybe fail even 5 out of 6. But now you got to be careful how many times you're failing. But the bottom line is, I'll say this: I think this is one of the feelings that I have, and I can keep a smile on my face even through failure, because Winston Churchill, he's a brilliant old man that's no longer with us, but I studied, Zig Ziglar and Napoleon Hill and Winston Churchill, and Winston Churchill said success is being able to go from failure to failure without the loss of enthusiasm. Hey, do I look unhappy right now? No, I'm still enthused, and I failed already today, but that's okay, because I got out of the way. Now I focus on the winners. That's what I spend my time doing, focusing on winners.
I mean, I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm very, real, and I have no filters. You speaking, and like my body just give me chills after chills. It's like, wow. It's not your formula per se. Now you're helping millions with the same formula. So something that you do is correct. And the people that have to start listening to those who have those clues of success, to those they have to copy him. No, I mean, they have to have a sense of intuition to say, this guy is doing the right thing, and I'm gonna go, even if I have to travel miles to another country, I want to go into his footstep, right? I mean, you have mentoring packages. You have books. You're mentoring people every day on the top of continuing to have success.
I love doing that because there's so many entrepreneurs that need help. That's why myself and Michael Dell and Ted Leonsis formed the Entrepreneurs Organization back in 1987. We got together, we put some money in a bank account and said, let's fund entrepreneurial empowerment and education. And EO has been it's a nonprofit that is done. It's in 155 cities, 60 countries around the world. I love that. And I got a couple of thoughts that are just coming to me, because it's like people said to me, I moved, I'm sitting in sunny Florida right now, and I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I said, just because you're born somewhere, and Cincinnati's a beautiful city, and I love the Bengals and grew up there, but I couldn't make money there the way I moved from Cincinnati to Philadelphia. And within 12 months, my income 10x'd. And it was because of the ability to get more responses from ads in newspapers. And I was an entrepreneur needing to feed off other entrepreneurs. And I did it when I hit Philadelphia. But the point I'm good. So don't be afraid to move. But people say to me, you did this venture with Home Shopping Network, right? I'm in St. Petersburg, Florida is where I've lived for 30 years. And let me tell you why I did this. And this is about partnering with people and finding the right dream team. Because I found out that I was really good at marketing and finding the products in many cases, but my failures and shortcomings were in finance, operations, fulfillment, customer service, all that legwork type stuff. So now I met the people at Home Shopping Network, and they said, Kevin, we would love to do something with you in a bigger way than just putting your products on the air. And I came back to them, and this is what they do. They put 50,000 products on the air a year. Now, out of that, 500 are Grand Slams. So what I said to them is, I'll tell you what, you have 5,000 employees and 50,000 products. I don't want to work on the 49,500. I want to work on the 500 Grand Slams. Who's that? Oh, that's Tony Little. That's Jack LaLanne. That's Suzanne Summers. And so the winners, I moved here in a venture with HSN because let them find all the losers. I'm going to work on the winners. And so we took Tony Little, who was on Home Shopping Network. Now, to give you an idea of what a winner is, Tony Little would get 10 minutes on HSN. So he's going to go on. Let's say he's going on tomorrow morning, and now the results are in. The hour before him, 10 minutes, the gentleman sold $2,000 worth of product, which was a bomb. He only did $200 a minute. Well, the next guy came on and was doing $500 a minute. When Tony Little would come on, he would do $10,000 a minute. He'd go 10 minutes, 10,000, $10,000. He was so much more powerful than the others. So now he was saying things that were getting more sales. I focused on duplicating that sales message. And now let's not just put it on HSN, let's take it to the world. We opened up offices in London and Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and Sao Paulo, Brazil, all with Home Shopping Network, by the way. This is what I did when I came down here, because I said that people only know Tony Little in the United States on Home Shopping Network. Well, we took him, we put him in Walmart, in Target, we put him in every retail store in the United States. We took him to 150 countries in dozens of languages. So what I was doing was focusing on the winners of Home Shopping Network. And so when you think about it, it's, people say to me, how do you decide on a daily basis what to do? You got so many things coming at you, whatever, right?
That was one of my questions.
Yeah. So, you know, I learned this concept, and because I went to meet somebody very famous, and I'm not going to mention names today, but this person was a president of the United States. And I was going into a personal one-on-one meeting with this person, okay? And that person said, hold on a second. I went in the office, just the two of us are now, I'm assuming I'm going to be spending time with this president right now. And so what did he say? He said, sir, do not sit down in that chair, because I want to know how much of my time this is going to take. If you're here to pitch me something, right? Mr. Harrington, yes, I'm here to pitch you something. And so how much of my time is that going to take in the future? If I said yes, how much of my time is it going to take, and what's my upside? And right away, I said to myself, this guy has figured it out. How much of my time is, because I said, well, sir, it's going to take 4 hours of your life, and I don't need that all at one time. I could take that an hour a month over 4 months, and it's worth at least $4 million. And he sat there for 4 to 6 seconds, and he said, please sit down.
Wow.
I spent an hour with him. And so we shook hands on a deal, and it's a long story, but the bottom line is this: how much of my time is this going to take, and what's my upside? So the way this gentleman was running a certain part of his calendar, my calendar consists of money-making opportunities as part of my day, family time as part of my day, and maybe some charitable time where I'm giving back to the community.
Yes.
Like, yes. I'm not getting paid to do this.
No.
We're doing this because I want to empower entrepreneurs. Correct. And I do this every day. So it's part of me and what I do. And this is why I'm one of the founders of EO. And so the bottom line is that when you're operating a 4-hour block of profit, how much of my time is this? If I got eight appointments or 8 deals I'm looking at, what is the upside on those deals, and what is the time, and what is the cost of each project? If something costs way too much, takes way too long, and delivers way too little, then don't spend the time on it, right? Wow. You have to do the analysis. So anyway, that's if I do the proper analysis and I spend the right amount of time on the right deals with the right upside, and I get good deal flow, then this is how you can be an entrepreneur. Get good deal flow, get good analysis of that deal flow. Now you have to be able to finance that deal flow. That's the next step. Some people say, how do you finance your deals? Well, now I can do it myself because I've been successful and I've had plenty of exits. But, in the old days, I'll give you an example how I finance deal flow. I would go, somebody would bring, let's say Tony Little, we just did the ab isolator. It did $350 million, okay? So now some guy brings me another product that I want to do, and it's a no-name guy. Well, what do? I go to Tony. Hey, Tony, do you have any more deals we can do? Because we just did a $350 million project. He said, Kevin, I want to do another deal. Here it is. Here's the product. Okay, great. So I get the rights to it. Boom, boom, boom. Signed the worldwide exclusive rights to Tony Little's next product. Then I got the no-name guy that I really think is going to be solid, but I needed the money for it. But then I go and I find one more deal that I can put, I call it, you put a little basket together, 3 projects. Now you go out to investors and there's investor lists. There's ways to do this. It's friends and relatives, but it's also investment bankers. There's equity crowdfunding sites, lots of ways to raise capital. That's a whole subject and a whole podcast unto itself. But for now, you got, why did I get it funded? Well, I had Tony Little's in there and everyone said, wait a minute, that's the next Tony Little hit? Well, it might be, but it may not be. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I was able to raise the capital and we did basket after basket. And I'm talking 30, 40 years ago when we were doing this, but it got us to the point where we're making enough money off of these successes that we could fund it ourselves.
Wow. Woo.
Yeah.
So 30, 40 years ago is a different world. I mean, it's different. The world of investment may be the same techniques, but it's different as far as product. Now you have the technology, this data, all this technology, the systems. What do you look at the technology? Do you invest in this technology? We have cryptocurrency, we have this, we have that. What's your
I'll say
take
this.
on it?
Yesterday, I had a meeting with an unbelievable tech group out of the Ukraine. And it's a company called Zell. And these guys have invented logistics, okay? I mean, in today's tech world, but they're doing it all over the world. So when there's people like that are so sophisticated, if they brought me something to invest in, yes. But if it's a technology off the street that isn't in use, I'd be concerned. I'd want to show it to my technology guys, my logistics guys. Zell is a company with thousands of people under their umbrella and billions of dollars in value that they provide to the marketplace. And so so they are dealing with the latest and greatest of technologies, including lots of analysis of artificial intelligence,
yes,
logistics, etc. And on that note, yes, the last investment I made was a company called Vocodia, which is an AI technology for outbound telemarketing. And it's what they've done is it's a very humanized, you think you're talking to a human, and they've reduced the latency, and that's the wait time. So because it's so sophisticated that it's having a conversation. That's how you know you're talking to a machine when you say something and 3-second delay, it's like, okay, I'm talking to a computer, but this is humanized and no latency. And so this is a technology that it's being used by airlines. And so I would not have invested if I had not known that it was already being successfully implemented.
Got you. So technology, I like to say technology is not wired to know the truth. You are. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Technology is not going to replace your consciousness. Hopefully it will never get there and we all become robots, right? But it's important to combine this evolution into our success and keep our open mind to what really is going on in the world and not being stuck in the past, right?
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, it's technology. Can save time, save you money, and be more efficient. I mean, one of the challenges with telemarketing centers is they having to have tens of thousands of live bodies taking all these calls. It's, the physical space that's required for that, Now, so if you can create technology that doesn't require all of that space and all of that overhead and all that training, this is reducing costs, reducing overheads, et cetera. There's going to be some advancements, I believe, in artificial intelligence in positive ways. I mean, everyone also hears about some of the negative stuff that can happen with it too. but I like to focus on the positive ways that it's going to impact the ability to make money in the marketplace.
Absolutely. And we're talking about empowering the planet, and really changing systems around the world, and more flexibility, less separation, all of this happening in the same time. I think this is the evolution that's happening. One of the things about you that really inspired me, and you don't know this because I've never said that unless I'm saying it today. I left my country with $50 in my pocket, didn't speak English. I was an illegal immigrant, homeless, and I was on the street. I actually literally slept in the airport, but I left because I needed to break the curse of poverty. I left everything and everyone behind, which is a complete crazy thing.
What country? France.
Okay. And so I was very, very young, and here I am. It was a guitar, $50 in my pocket, couldn't eat. So only thing I could eat was the baby food, because at the time it was 25 cents. So I'm like, if it's good enough for the baby, it's good enough for me. So I survived on this little baby food. And one of your quote that really turns me on, and this is one of the reasons I just love you, is that you say being born into poverty does not mean that you are condemned to spend the rest of your life in poverty.
Right.
Amazing. Wow.
Absolutely. Napoleon Hill was the first guy that said, what your mind can conceive and you believe, you must be able to achieve. And that was the first time I heard that. And that was very inspiring for me. I was 15 years old. And that's when I started my first business within months of reading Think and Grow Rich, because I said, whatever your mind can conceive, my mind, I want to own a business. But do I believe it? I do believe I can do it. Then it must happen. But there was a missing step. And this is when people ask me, do I have any, famous people that I listened to over the years? I think I've mentioned Zig Ziglar and some of the guys, but there was a guy named Paul J. Myers out of Waco, Texas. And Paul J. Myers said, you can get anything you want if you follow these steps. Whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and this is the step that most people miss, enthusiastically act upon, must inevitably come to pass. So I'll say it again. Whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon, must inevitably come to pass. So it's, if you believe it and you see it, you imagine it, it's acting upon it, is what many people, you left France, you said, you went through all those phases, but you enthusiastically acted upon your desire to change your life, and to be sitting where you are right now, hosting a podcast like you are, and having the big success that I know you and your husband have had. It's awesome to see that, by the way.
Thank you so much. Wow. I'm trying to get less emotional because you touch my heart deeply. And would you say that you achieve your highest purpose, or is there something else to explore? I kind of know the answer, but
I still have a few tricks up my sleeve, I think. I believe I'm 67 years old, and I've spent the last I started my first business when I was 15, but literally full time working up until recently, 80-hour weeks. I mean, when I was traveling 100 countries, opening up distribution for our infomercials all around the world, those were 80 and 100-hour weeks, and I did that for years. I say I'm semi-retired, but I've spent too much time focused on building businesses, and there's nothing wrong with making money, okay? So, but I do give back, and I've always give back, but I think I'm starting my own foundation right now, and my biggest future is going to be about giving back.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, we're gonna, I believe the Young Entrepreneurs Organization, 1987, many years ago, that is all happening, and it's got its own board, and it's solid, and what an awesome organization that is. But I've got some advisors that have been structuring a foundation, because I really want to be able to empower people that have the potential but don't know it.
How amazing, how beautiful, how solid. Wow. Yeah. Incredible.
In fact, we're going to be working with the military. Right here in the St. Pete, Tampa area is MacDill Air Force Base. And I was over there over the weekend, and there is tremendous need right now to help some of the most brilliant minds in the world that come out of the military, and what do they want to do? They want to own businesses. They want to be entrepreneurs. And some of them are physically challenged with injuries and PTSD and problems like this. But there is a group of people that that needs help, and I believe my foundation is going to be geared in that fashion, to be announced in the future, though.
Thank you so much for sharing this with the Mystical Mavericks. Wow. And
you are mystical. Thank you for having me today. It's been awesome.
It has been awesome. And just to close up, where can we find you? Latest book. I mean, where can you guide us towards you and towards your last creation?
So the best place to go to is my website. It's kevinharrington.tv. And we've got some free downloads, and my last book was called Mentor to Millions. It is a Wall Street Journal bestseller, number 2 on the Wall Street Journal list. And I think you guys helped out with helping market the book, and thank you. And so I've got about 10 books. So some of them we have some free downloads, and other ones you might have to buy on Amazon. But one of them is Act Now: How I Turn Ideas into $1 Million Products. And but there's also a really good one, and it is how to become a key person of influence in your industry. And that is a 5-step system to becoming well known. It's kind of how to build your brand a little bit, how to empower yourself as an entrepreneur. So anybody that's out there wants to check that book out, that is a really good place to start. And it's called Key Person of Influence. Myself and have some great folks that are in the book, and some Shark Tank stories in there too. So anyway,
I mean, it's not like you've been not the first shark, the first shark ever with us today. Hey.
I'm having some fun. Looking forward to. I'm going to listen to this when it's done now, because I did all the talking. I want to do some listening.
No, and then you also support my good friend Dr. Porter, who's my sponsor for the show, BrainTap. Don't you have some?
Yes. Oh yeah. I have a program with them.
Perfect. So there you go.
Awesome.
They're awesome. So Kevin,
thanks for reminding me. Good to see you.
Yeah, of course.
I said hello. 2 thumbs up to the 2 of you. Okay. All right.
Thank you. We love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Many blessings. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Bye. Wow. Are you inspired? This was so powerful, charismatic, energetic, orgasmic, to have Kevin being so real, so humble about his success. And what really transpired throughout the entire show, and in the entire wisdom that he shared with us so beautifully, is that you can't give up. The power of failing, the power of failing. Don't be afraid to fail. Of course, you don't want to fail and fail and fail and continue to fail. That would be ridiculous on your way to your entrepreneurship success. However, there is failure that are instrumental to your success. So don't be afraid of failure. And also don't be afraid of opening up to opportunities that are outside of your backyard. Don't be afraid of being uncomfortable. You know, he shared about he had to move from where he was comfortable. He had to move from a state to another. You know, I had to move from a country to another. So those who have success understand that you have to sometimes cut off the place, the physical place, the environment that you're in to be able to create a new environment that serves your highest purpose. And it's not an easy thing to do, you know, but if you really truly want to succeed in your life, in your business, and to have fulfillment in your life, you can't be afraid of changes. So, of course, this entire episode, so many nuggets, so much sacredness to those words that Kevin Harrington shared with us today. And I really encourage you to take time to listen to his words, to the energy behind the words, what he's really is transmitting to you. If you are either a brand new entrepreneur, if you are creating a reality in manifesting your dream, if you are someone who's creating maybe a brand, this is really the person to listen. Is, you know, Kevin Harrington obviously has done it over and over and over again. And I'm very, very blessed. We are blessed to have in this show beautiful beings that shares this gold of a wisdom, this amazing. So please be humble. Take time for yourself. Remember who you are, your purpose, why you're here. Remember the power of belief, the belief in yourself, the belief in what you're doing, and having no doubt about it. No matter how it sounds so crazy, just like when I left my country, everybody thought I was completely crazy. She's insane. She's going to fail. She's going, everybody talked, right? But I didn't care because I had so much belief in myself, and even myself as the self itself, the cosmic being that you are, this universal being that you are, that was created for this purpose, to be fulfilled by happiness, freedom, success. So you can not just empower yourself, but empower others along the way and feel this fulfillment, this contentment. Such a beautiful place to be in the world today. So thank you for joining us to listen to this episode. Take it all in, and I will continue to share with you my journey, the journey of others, with love, light, peace, freedom. Thank you so much. Much love. Hugs. Bisous, bisous. À bientôt, my friends.
You have just listened to another enlightening episode of Mystical Mavericks. please visit mysticalmavericks.com for additional resources and to learn more about our mentorship, giveaways, and gatherings. Be sure to subscribe and share so you don't miss the next episode of Mystical Mavericks.